welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Deluxe class Red COG Weaponizer pack, inspired by the Netflix Transformers Siege War for Cybertron show, and I've actually been really excited to get this guy in hand out of all of the Target exclusives such as this guy, the toy accurate version of Pterosaur and Grimlock that were revealed. This was definitely the figure that caught my attention the most, as I think he looked awesome. I've always been a massive fan of these weaponizers. I thought COG was one of the best, so to see him recolored into one of these troop builders that we actually see in the Netflix show already sold me on this guy, but the fact that he includes so many additional accessories which are not only completely original and unique for this character, but that can also be used for some of the other figures, this was an instant buy for me. And actually getting this guy in hand, he's one of my favorite releases that we've seen for this year so far. Now this guy is actually just basically a direct repaint of COG, just done in red and black, but he looks really nicely done. For such a simple repaint, it definitely is a really nice one. You can see the head has been fully decked out in this really nice metallic red plastic, and we've got this awesome blue streak there for the visor. As we just take a look here at the shoulders, you can see cast out of grey plastic, but the mixture of reds, black and grey really do come together incredibly nicely. I mean, just check out the mechanical detailing that we've got here for the thighs. We've even got some really nice tread details here for the outer section, some nice red for the shins, and I think the foot detail looks great even here at the base. Now as we spin our attention to the back, you can see that he's literally armed to the teeth. This guy comes with 12 individual weapons. Now most of them are brand new. There are two of which are a direct carryover from the original release, such as these almost rifles here at the top. You can see they've been fully painted in a really nice gunmetal grey, and all of the other ones are just awesome. Now much like the 2014 Age of Extinction Hound, all of these are pretty much completely customizable, so you can take the ends of this one, peg it onto this, literally mix and match these all day and all night, which I think adds a great ton of play value to these. But I'll detach them all and take a closer look at them in just a second. Articulation wise, we do get a swivel joint here at the head which can look left to right. I've even got some of those wheeljack bombs attached there onto the chest, which I think look just so cool. We do get a full rotation at the shoulder, hinge joint out to the side, as well as a 90-degree bend there at the elbow. Full waist rotation, the legs can kick forwards that far, back to that far, out to the sides. Rotation at the thigh way past 90 due to the nature of the design, and as per tradition with these War for Cybertron figures, a fantastic ankle rocker pivot, literally one of the best I think we've ever seen for a deluxe release. So in a nutshell, this guy looks great on his own, but when you factor in just how much cooler he looks here with these weapons, honestly it's literally an instant buy. Now we'll detach these here and set them off to the side for now, as I will quickly showcase the transformation from robot mode into the vehicle mode, as I don't believe I've ever actually reviewed this mold here over on the channel. He came out just before I actually began doing reviews here on YouTube. So remove all of these weapons, and as you guys can see, due to the functionality of this being an almost weaponizer, he will become detached very easily, but we'll just attach that back on, wriggle the bombs off, and set them here off to the side. Now to actually get him transformed into the vehicle mode, you are going to want to remove the arms and just set them there off to the side. Detach this torso section. I believe the legs can stay fixed into place, so it really is just a matter of hinging these up, and these tabs will slide there into these grooves, so just peg them there into place. Of course, rinse and repeat the exact same process here for this side, and then what will happen is that this will create a tab that will peg here into this slot. But first of all, you'll want to rotate the head so that the front is now facing the back, and they've even fully sculpted the back of the head with some nice mechanical and cybernetic details, which is really nice. And then just collapse this section down. We can then combine that like so. Take the arms, which will now form proper cannons here for the vehicle mode, and this tab will peg into this port, whilst this tab will peg into a port here on the underside. So just snap those sections in, and of course rinse and repeat the exact same process here for this side. And there we have COG in his weaponized vehicle mode. Now truth be told, I've never been quite sure as to what this vehicle is supposed to resemble. I guess a Cybertronian tank, especially with the treads here at the back, but it doesn't look too bad. I do believe he actually transforms on screen, so this is pretty accurate to what we see in the show. You can see some nice red there for the actual rims. I think once more the red and black and greys come together very nicely, and we can also take all of those weapons seen previously to have something which looks like like this, and in my opinion this is just so awesome. And one of the major selling points about this guy is just how fun and versatile he really is. Since getting him, I haven't been able to put him down at all. I just think the display options are endless. Even here in the vehicle mode, you can see we've got this triple barreled blaster here along the side, the 2 rifles at the top. I've got these energon canisters acting as perhaps exhaust pipes or additional thrusters at the rear of the vehicle. Even as we spin our attention to the side, we've got this massive sniper which sticks out, as well as those sticky bombs here at the top section of the vehicle mode. Overall, just such a fun and enjoyable figure, and in all honesty, I would definitely recommend picking him up. Now, there is a third main mode that COG has, and that is of course his weaponized form. In the show, COG actually transforms into almost a backpack for RC, into kind of scaring Sound Blaster, and that is exactly what you can do here with this figure. And due to one of the accessories included, it does actually make attaching the backpack onto RC completely possible, whereas before you weren't actually able to attach COG onto RC, which was always a downside. Here with this weapon, it completely is. So I'll detach all of these accessories, we'll get him transformed up into that mode, and then of course finally touch base in more detail with the individual weapons themselves. So what you'll want to do to get to the weaponized mode would be, first of all, detach this almost torso section. Now for this specific combination, this really doesn't have a role to play. I guess you could just take these pieces, collapse them in like so, and create an almost shield for another character, but for this we're going to set it off here to the side. You'll then want to take the arms and just detach them just like so. I believe the legs can stay exactly where they are. You'll just want to hinge these sections up. We'll flip out this 5mm peg, hinge these sections up and over, and rinse and repeat here for this side. And then as far as these arms are concerned, you do literally just peg them into the base of the foot, just like so, and that is COG effectively fully transformed. We can then take these weapons and peg them here into the sides just for complete accuracy to the show. And now is where you'll want to bring in either RC, Lifeline, or Elita 1. I would have brought RC in, but as you can see, she's literally being blasted out by the review station. So to showcase it in its full glory, I will utilize Elita 1 for this comparison. Here is where you'll want to bring in this brand new adapter piece. Now, for those of you who recall, RC does actually equip with COG in the show. I believe she's one of the only Transformers to do so, but this figure doesn't have any 5mm port on the back, meaning that originally it was impossible to get this guy attached onto her backpack until now. This section is literally a godsend. So what you'll want to do is lift up this back section, and you'll notice that any figure that actually has this mold will have this huge circular port, as well as a tiny port here for the culo. Basically, this section does just shoot in there very, very securely. We can then drop that backpack down, and you'll want to take this 5mm post and just snap that into that section, and there we have Elita 1 fully equipped with COG as seen in the show. Now this looks really, really awesome. Of course, it's a massive backpack, and at least here on my copy, Elita 1 is very loose, so 9 times out of 10 she'll actually be unable to hold up the weight of this, but the intention is still there, and my joints and RC are actually a lot tighter, so I'm almost certain she'd be able to utilize it. But in the show, I think she was kind of crouched over, so let's see if we can do this. Yeah, exactly. There we go. There we've got Elita 1 with that backpack section looking really, really cool. Looking as if though perhaps she's about to blow Sound Blaster out of existence. Now switching focus here onto the accessories themselves, I know that this will be a highlight for many collectors, and trust me, they do not disappoint at all. Now besides these 2 pistols, basically everything that you're seeing here is completely brand new, and some of these are actually specifically designed and intended for pre-existing characters such as Elita 1, Ratchet, and even Wheeljack. So to kick things off, here we have the weapon that we just saw when we combined both Elita 1 and COG together. Some really nice metallic blue highlighting there. I think this in itself looks great, and you can kind of get it acting as its own independent weapon. We also do get an energon infused cylinder. Now I believe RC uses these to bargain with Sound Blaster in the show. You can see a very, very nice metallic flake there to the energon, and even the precision of the paint apps here with kind of this gunmetal strip that goes along the side looks really, really impressive. Once again, you can actually use this as a blaster, and I'll showcase that in just a second. We also do get a smaller pistol, which looks like a glorified version of RC's signature G1 blaster. You can see very nice looking sculpt work where this is concerned. We also get this rifle, which looks more like a smaller downsized version of the one that came with Ultra Magnus. Some very nice sculpt work there. for this section. I think this looks great, probably one of my favorite out of the entire bunch. And then we get a whole host of additional add-on pieces, so additional barrels. So this one looks kind of like the triple barrel that we actually see on Age of Extinction Optimus Prime's shield, and we've got this really nice black singed effect here at the base, that in itself looking awesome. We also do get this longer one to actually create Elite 1's sniper rifle. We do get this section, which has been sculpted very, very nicely, and Ratchet's healing / wielding device. And I thought the paint on this was top notch. We've got a darker gunmetal here for the top with a lighter shade of silver, and of course that dark plastic, and even some silver there for the top, and a nice green highlight for the circular sections on the side. Not looking too bad at all. And then we also do get Wheeljack's bombs. Now I actually thought initially these were inspired by Transformers Prime, but they actually do appear in the show. Now you can split them so that they are compatible with some of your other figures. For example, here with Wheeljack, you can take this 5mm post and peg it into the hand, and from certain angles it does look as if though he's actually walking around with one of these bombs. But if you wanted to combine it to create for a slightly more wholesome look, you can see that looks so nicely done, and the paintwork is actually exceptional. Gunmetal grey, darker green there for this circle section, as well as some lighter highlights here for the sides as well as for the middle. And if you want to split it, basically you just stick your fingernail in this section and it can become very easily detached, and also has got some nice detail. And then, as mentioned previously, the exact same blasters that we saw with the original COG, this time round just fully decked out in gunmetal. Now as far as the customization aspect is concerned, you can switch out basically any of these barrels with any of these weapons. So even for example, you could take Ratchet's blaster and actually take this longer sniper section and peg that in there, and you've got a completely different look. I think this is great, or vice versa. You could take, say, this one, peg that in there, or you can actually create her show accurate weapon. So just snap that section into place, and there we have Elite 1's sniper. And I'm so glad that we actually finally get this officially, as on the original figure we actually merely just saw this transparent pistol, which wasn't bad, but of course in the show she did have this massive weapon, and I think she looks great whilst actually wielding this. You can see it's incredibly long, much like we saw in the show, but really does look awesome. As mentioned previously, this is the gun for Ratchet, so here we've got that Siege Cybertron Ratchet. I think he looks awesome, so you can have him fixing up and wielding Impactor. And then as far as some of these other weapons are concerned, you can really mix and match them. So if you really wanted to, you could take, say, this Energon section, shoot this section through, and then peg it onto, say, one of the barrels of COG to create a weapon. So let's just spin our attention here to the back. Voila, there you've got a blaster which is utilizing Energon. Just so much versatility with these. I really do think they're great. And then you can even take this section, peg that in there to create a much larger looking weapon. Overall, very impressed with the accessory selection that we're actually seeing with this guy, and at least in my opinion, these are so much nicer when in comparison to the accessories that we saw with that Centurion drone pack. And so, some final thoughts for this Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Red COG Weaponizer Accessory Pack. Overall, I think this is great. By far one of the best items that Hasbro have put out this year so far. Just the COG figure in itself is amazing. Now, personally, I wasn't expecting us ever to see a red show-accurate version of COG, especially considering not only the toy line, but also the series concluded quite a few years ago now. So, I did think that we were kind of done with Transformers Siege, but it's great to see them kind of harken back to that series. It's a great repaint, a great mold, so I'm definitely glad to add it to the collection, and out of the two, it is my preferred. Now, the accessories are really where I think this set shines. I think all of them are great. Now, granted, we do get two pre-existing ones, but they're kind of just meant for COG. The rest of them can be used for pretty much any of the other figures. You can see that we finally got Elite 1 sniper rifle, we got Ratchet's wielding device, Wheeljack's bombs, which are some of my favorite weapons from this pack, and some of the other blasters that we get are great. The versatility is endless. Even with the figure itself, you can break him apart, weaponize him with other Transformers, and the same can also be said for the accessories. I love how we actually do get an adapter piece so that we can equip COG to RC or Elite 1. That was such a nice attention to detail. Great to see the designers finally address that, especially considering she was one of the only characters to actually use COG in the show. So it is great that we can actually create that combination in toy form, and overall I just think it's a really nicely done pack. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you guys find this to be a worthy sequel to that Centurion drone weaponizer pack that we saw released as part of 2020, and is this a set you guys plan on adding to the collection? As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.